Imagine a mother bear pouncing on a mountain lion to save a human it had befriended. Sounds crazy, right? This is the story of Robert Biggs, a 69-year-old man who claimed his special bond with a bear saved him from a vicious cougar attack. And if you think this story simply doesn't ring true, you would be backed up by the California Department of Fish and Game. We might have embraced modernity, but strange, unexplainable things have happened since the dawn of time, and they continue to happen. Some animals, even wild, untamed ones, have been known to save humans from danger. In 2005, for example, 3 lions saved a 12-year-old girl from Ethiopia from 4 men who wanted to kidnap her. In 2017, a humpback whale helped a marine biologist escape a potential shark attack. You get the point. If Robert Biggs' story is true, maybe it's just another one of those instances. Let's dive into the story and we'll let you be the judge of that. On 26 March 2012, 69-year-old Robert Biggs was out on a hike near Whiskey Flat, a plain in Butte County, California, not far away from his home in Paradise. The man knew the area well. He'd been there plenty of times. On that day, he planned to go gold panning with a backpack secured on his back and a rock pick in his hands. Biggs was ready to get down to business in the heart of Northern California's nature. Hundreds of miles of trails spread all over Butte County, and all of them are excellent ways to easily connect with nature. It's the purest, perhaps oldest form of meditation, just walking through nature and breathing in some sought-after fresh air. Butte County is heaven on earth for those who want some good old outdoor recreation. And the area is also a must for any gold panning enthusiasts. For a while, Butte County was even the home of the largest gold nugget in the world. It's easy to see why someone like Robert Biggs would try their hand at finding gold in the geographically diverse county. On that Monday back in 2012, the man set out on his normal hiking gold panning trip. It was morning when he arrived near Whiskey Flats, and he was happy to enjoy his day. He started walking, and then he saw something that made him stop in his tracks. It was a group of bears. Most people would slowly back away and pray to get out of there without attracting the animals' attention. But the 69-year-old wasn't like most people. Instead, he remained there, watching the animals. In fact, according to Biggs, it wasn't the first time encountering the animals. He had interacted with the group of 3 before. The mother bear, her yearling, and her cub were, according to the man, always aware of his presence. Even more, the man was sure he and the mother bear had somehow bonded. As he stood there watching the animals, the mother bear looked at the man without displaying any sign of aggression. To the mighty beast, Biggs was a normal, familiar sight. Watching the mother, the yearling, and the cub peacefully interacting with each other was heartwarming. Biggs knew bears were territorial and extremely protective of their young ones, but for some reason they didn't see the man as a threat. Feeling grateful to be in their presence, the man kept on watching the animals. But as he did so, something changed. In an instant, he was knocked down on his stomach by something fast. It took him only seconds to realize a cougar had pounced on him, and it was obviously planning to turn the man into a tasty meal. Cougars, also known as mountain lions or pumas, are large cats. They're native to the Americas. Their presence has been noted everywhere from the Canadian Yukon to the southern Andes in South America. They're usually solitary by nature, and they prey on a vast array of animals. Everything from deer to rodents is fair game. And although such instances are rare, there have been fatal attacks on humans too. According to Robert Biggs, on that day, he experienced the cougar's usual MO. The beautiful cats are experts at ambushing their prey, secretly stalking their target before attacking. With the mountain lion on his back, Biggs knew he had to fight for his life. When mountain lions attack humans, they have a pretty standard technique. They use their front paws to grab the shoulders, while the back paws dig into the lower back. Then they bite down on the head. But as told by Biggs, he was knocked to the ground, his backpack raised over his head, and the mountain lion latched onto it. His arm also got hurt in the process. Being very well aware that he couldn't let his survival be a matter of luck, the 69-year-old man gripped his rock pick harder and then smashed the animal's head with it. The cougar screamed, but it wasn't about to let go. Instead, it stood its ground and kept its grip on Biggs. As the man raised his pick to strike again, something astonishing happened. Something that seemed straight out of a fantasy story. The man saw a blur coming from his left side. It was the mother bear, leaping on the cougar and grabbing it by its throat. The two titans clashed, but it was easy to see that it was an uneven match. According to Biggs, the sole witness of the fight, the bear outweighed the cat 400 pounds to 100 pounds. After about 15 seconds of growls and screams, the mighty bear won the battle. Sensing its limitations, the mountain lion ran away. The bear then went back on all fours. Here the story gets more bizarre, if that's even possible. The mother bear looked Biggs in the eye, as if it was acknowledging him, and then returned calmly to her cubs. The man was 100% sure the mother meant to save him from the vicious attack. They had seen each other again and had established some kind of connection. At least that's what the man told authorities and the press. With incredible composure, Biggs wrapped his injured arm up in his t-shirt and went gold panning before returning home. Back home, his wife Suzanne Biggs was terrified to see the man's injuries and urged him to go to the hospital. What if the animal was rabid? But Robert Biggs was stubborn and insisted he was fine. In lieu of going to the hospital, he poured some hydrogen peroxide on his arm, which was now black and blue, with visible puncture wounds, and called it a day. News of the unusual events broke out, and Biggs recounted his story to several news organizations. The Post, the Huffington Post, ABC News, the New York Daily News, the UK Daily Mail were just a few of them. But not everyone was as quick to accept the man's story. Some people left comments expressing their disbelief, but no one was more adamant that the story was false than the California Department of Fish and Game. A DFG warden interviewed Biggs and arrived at the conclusion that the attack was unsubstantiated. There were several reasons for the department's disbelief. Firstly, no obvious indicators of an attack, such as tears, wounds, or teeth marks that would point to a mountain lion attack, were found. Not even the man's backpack was too damaged. It was clean of dirt and had only one tear, less than half an inch. How was that possible if the mountain lion had allegedly latched onto it? Blood samples were then taken from the backpack and tested. The very small amount of blood turned out to be human, not of animal origin. Even more, there was no saliva or hair found on the backpack. After Biggs's scratches were studied and the scene of the attack was thoroughly investigated, the department said all of the evidence was simply inconsistent with a mountain lion attack. But nothing was more suspicious to the department than Biggs's other stories about his experiences with both mountain lions and bears. The man claimed he survived 3 other mountain lion attacks in his life, but there was no official report of them. None of the 16 verified mountain lion attacks reported from 1890 to 2007 had occurred in Butte County. The craziest part of Robert Biggs's story, however, was his account of a previous interaction with the mother bear that saved him and one of its cubs. According to the man, he had previously played with the cub under the mother's supervision. It stood up on its hind legs and put its paws up, and I got to play patty cake with it, the man said. However, as one may expect, the California Department of Fish and Game said it's unlikely for a bear to be so friendly with man, especially if it's a mother bear. As for Biggs, he's always stood by his story, calling the DFG the Gestapo. Do you believe Robert Biggs's story? Let us know in the comments what you think really happened that day.